It is Saturday night, December the 14th. I hope and trust that all is well with you, wherever you are. And if it's not well with you, I hope that you will wake up and realize that it's not well with you and get your stuff together, girl. Get your stuff together, dude, because we need you. The rest of us are getting tired of doing what you're supposed to be doing. We're getting tired of doing your work. So get on it and get yourself straight and get to where you can start doing the work that you're supposed to be doing and quit making somebody else do it. So before I get started, somebody's going to ask me about, I have the different glasses on today. I've got the day Swanwick glasses. I got the night Swanwick glasses. And I just want to let you know that you can go to jeffreydaugherty.com and click on the Swanwick logo. And right now, between now and December 31st, 2019, if you buy 2 or more products, you receive 20% off your entire order using the code LOVE, capital LOVE 20. That's 20. Love 20, love 20. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Swanwick logo, and get your 20% off when you buy 2 or more products. Receive 20% off your entire order. We have talked in the past on Dead Comic Society. We have talked to, who was the first one? We talked to Sam Kinison, and we talked to Freddie Prinz. Now, we have not talked yet to a lady, and tonight we are definitely going to talk to a lady, and we're talking tonight to the lovely and talented JOAN Rivers. If you never saw JOAN Rivers do stand-up, get on your favorite search engine and do a search for JOAN Rivers stand-up. She was really, really good at stand-up. Many of you know her from The Tonight Show and from her own show, and we'll talk about that turned into a fiasco. And she also was a renowned actress and, of course, did a lot of shows on television. But we're talking tonight to JOAN Rivers, and, of course, she made famous that statement, "Can we talk?" And tonight, yes, we can. We're going to talk with JOAN Rivers. Now, some of you are saying, I thought JOAN was dead. She is. She is no longer in this mortal plane, but through the magic of the divining rods, and I guess that's really accurate, but by use of divining rods, we're going to talk to JOAN Rivers. And the divining rods, I think, are the best and most elegant tool for yes and no answers in spiritual quests. And I've been chatting with JOAN back and forth, Ms. Rivers, I should say. I feel like I know her. I've been chatting back and forth with her, and I've realized something, ladies and gentlemen, and I was just talking with someone on Facebook about this, and it's weird, and it makes me very, very uncomfortable. And yet I think that I'm going to have to realize, understand, embrace, and make use of the fact that I'm a medium. And I could literally do a mediumship with JOAN Rivers right now. And it's weird because I feel it's like this quasi mediumship, quasi channeling. I don't do channeling, but I could actually like talk like JOAN Rivers and sound like JOAN Rivers and give you her. It's weird, but I know now. I felt bad about it, felt scared about it. But JOAN is like, she's in my ear right now, like, oh, come on. It's just a gift. You're supposed to use it. So with that, we're going to stick with the divining rods tonight, and I'm going to do some pondering, and I'm going to do some introspection about doing the mediumship work. And as Stellar Terra says, the dead are all around us, and not in a creepy way. I agree with that. So let's show you what the rods do. The rods are like this. Do I have a picture of Barack Obama behind me? No, I do not. That's a no. Do I, hi Pisces 69, do I have a hoodie on right now? Yes, I do. So the rods give a cross thing for me for a yes, and they give an outside thing for a no. So what we're going to do is ask yes and no questions of Miss Joan Rivers, and hopefully, surely she's got better things to do. So we're hoping that we can give her, that she can give us at least maybe a half an hour tonight and talk about what's going on and give us some information. And first of all, I'd like to say, good evening, Miss Rivers. And Miss Rivers, are you with us here tonight? And she gives an enthusiastic yes, and I can see her kind of waving to us right now. Ms. Rivers, it is an absolute honor and privilege to have you here with us on the program. Your spirit, even from beyond, is very infectious. We appreciate you, and we appreciate the time you're here. Michelle Cannon-Free says, can we talk? And Joan says, yes, we can. So we really, really, really are happy to see you, Joan. Is it okay if I call you Joan? Yeah, so I'm just going to call you Joan. Make it easy, not for a lack of respect. I do really, really appreciate you, and I'm a little bit nervous. Not really usually nervous, but I'm a little nervous talking with such a great person and a great talent, and somebody that really, and that's what we try to do, Joan. We don't interview just comics, even though I have the greatest respect for comics because I do, dabble in it myself. And KTM says that she misses you, Joan. And Joan says, oh, she misses you too. Okay. And she misses being with you. And we want to talk to people that had a reach beyond comedy, people that weren't afraid to do things and say things and be things beyond the normal paradigm. So, Joan, first of all, let me just ask you some basic stuff that I'd like to know about you personally. Joan, are you in a place right now that is comfortable? Yes. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Are you in a place right now where are you in pain? No, not in pain, but not totally comfortable. Does that mean you'd rather be here? Oh, really? That's interesting. You'd rather be here. And we'll ask some stuff. I see your answers, but your questions, but I definitely want to ask questions in more of a sequence. Now, Joan, you were one of the female pioneers in comedy, weren't you? Yes, you absolutely were. Johnny Carson, of course, saw you early in your career and was your mentor. And do you have warm and fuzzies for Johnny Carson? Yeah, before I even ask the question, yes, because we know that you did have a fallout with Johnny. We'll talk about that a little bit. And from my understanding, he really overreacted. But do you feel like, let's just get right to it. Do you feel like Johnny overreacted? Yes. Do you feel like you could have handled it better? Yes. Let me just give you a short breakdown, ladies and gentlemen. Joan Rivers was kind of the official substitute host for Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show. And she was very good, very funny, very professional. And then the new network at the time, Fox, offered Joan her own late night TV show. And she accepted that before she told Johnny Carson about it. Now, Joan, I understand that there was a lot of secrecy that Fox was requiring of you, right? Yeah, so you really weren't, you were forbidden by Fox to talk to Johnny, right? Okay, and I heard the story that when you finally finished the deal with Fox, you called up Johnny and Johnny hung up on you. Did he actually hang up on you? Wow, Johnny Carson hung up on you. Did you call him back? Did he hang up on you again? No. Did he answer the phone again? Wow. Yeah, John. So you and your best friend, you were best friends with Johnny Carson. You used to laughingly, I believe you used to laughingly call yourself Johnny Carson's daughter, right? Yes, absolutely. Joan, I know this is inappropriate, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Did you ever have sex with Johnny Carson? Okay. I had to clear that up because people, inquiring minds, Joan, want to know. So we've cleared that up. So we don't have to have anybody worrying about that anymore. So he never did you ever speak to Johnny Carson again before he died? Oh, that's so sad. That's tragic. You never spoke to Johnny again. You never talked to Johnny again after he hung up on you. And of course, he died, I think, 2005 or something like that. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. Would you have done things differently? See, it's already going yes. Would you have done things differently if you could have? Yeah, you would have told Johnny sooner. Okay, great. I appreciate that. Do you have your own personal opinion of why he was so mad at you? Yes, she does. Did it have to really do with the Fox show so much? No. I read somewhere, Joan, and I want to know if this is true or not, that you felt like, and I think it was a quote from you, and I just want to know if it was accurate. Did you feel like because you're a woman, Johnny felt like he kind of owned you and that you shouldn't have gone off and done anything on your own? Yes, emphatic yes. Okay. So you felt like Johnny kind of was lording it over you and you can't do this. I discovered you. So you felt like Johnny kind of did that to you, was upset because you were a woman. And if I remember correctly, there were other men that were regulars on the Tonight Show that started their own shows. And I don't remember Johnny ever getting mad at any of them. Am I right about that? I am. Okay. So the fact that you started your own show, got offered your own show on Fox, and were forbidden to talk to Johnny about it. And then when you were able to talk to him about it, he had known through the grapevine, and he was mad at you, never talked to you again. That is very, very sad. I have to ask you something. EO Alchemist tells us, Joan, that Johnny was a Scorpio and the Scorpios are very possessive. So maybe that could explain something. And this is so weird. I'm hearing in my ears. Not only that, they sting too. That's interesting. So anyway, Joan, tough question, but Joan, have you spoken with Johnny in the afterlife? No. Wow. I've got to tell you, Joan, that surprises me. Have you even encountered Johnny Carson in the afterlife? No. Wow. Do you have a sense? Let me ask you, rephrase that. Do you feel like Johnny is in like the same sort of place that you are? No. That's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Have you forgiven Johnny? Absolutely. If you did see Johnny, would you run up to him right now and give him a big hug and a smooch and leave lipstick on his face? Absolutely. Jump in his arms, she says. Oh, that's awesome. Well, let us hope that Johnny is in a good place. And Gene, I would never ask you this question, Joan, but and I don't think that you'll answer it, but we'll see. There's been talk about Johnny being involved in some pedophilia and stuff. Do you have any knowledge as to whether Johnny was involved in this stuff or not? Yes, you do have knowledge. Are you going to share it with us? No, you're not. Okay, I'll respect that. But it's interesting that he's not where you are and that you haven't seen any contact with him. Interesting. Okay, I get the sense that you'd rather not talk about that. So, and Delaney Jones wants to know, Joan, have you ever seen Mr. Rodney Dangerfield where you are? And she says, yes. And Joan, I was just going to ask her, and she says, and he still gets no respect. So is Rodney a good guy? Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So you do see Rodney, and I'm sure that you see some of the other folks, but no Johnny Carson. Wow, that's really something. That is really something. I'm kind of running out of questions. I really am. Oh, here's a question. Are you in a different place than Johnny because you were murdered? No, and that's not a question whether she was murdered. That was a question as to is she in a different place because of the murder. Joan, have you encountered Sam Kennison up there? Yes, absolutely. Did you know that Sam was on this show? Absolutely. Did Sam speak well of being on this show? Absolutely. Excellent. Amanda, who's a big fan of yours, asked, were there moments in your life, Joan, you saw for yourself that things weren't right in Hollywood? Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. And I think we all know intuitively that those things, that there's things that are there that are not right. And if you have questions for Ms. Rivers, please put them in all capitals. That way they'll catch my eye. Michelle Cannon Free, Joan. And I think I'm sensing her emotions at the many people coming in and saying, thank you. We appreciated all of your comedy. And I'm really getting emotional. And it's not from me. A lot of people giving you a lot of love, Joan, and folks, she's sending it right back to you. This is really, 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 really tough. Wow. Anne-Marie Uber in the house. I understand that you want to know if she was murdered. I understand that. Well, Joan, let's just get right to it. Let's just get right to it. Joan, do you feel like you were murdered? Yes. Joan does feel like she was murdered. And I know that your daughter, it seems like your daughter feels the same way, right? Absolutely. Oh, Dwayne asked a great question. Joan, have you seen Red Fox? Yes, you've seen Red Fox. And I have to ask this because Delaney is such a great supporter of our show. Joan, did you recently, or did you visit Delaney last year? Oh, snap, Delaney. How about that? That's amazing. So, Joan, you do feel like you were murdered. Were you murdered? Was it just because of, was your murder due just to the medical incompetence? So you think it's actually was a outright, let's kill this lady. Wow. That is so amazing. Because as I listen, and Joan, did your death have anything to do with your comments about Barack Obama and Michelle Obama? Yes. And please, in the chat room, if you talk about President Obama and Michelle Obama, be respectful, because I do believe that, and I'm going to ask you here in a minute, that Joan had genuine affection for President Obama and for Michelle. She had nothing against them. Is that true, Joan? Did you personally like the Obamas? She did personally like the Obamas. So the comments that you, and it's going no already, it's so amazing. The comments that you made about them were in no way mean-spirited, were they? Because I saw that day, and I should have played the video, but I'll get it. The video, my video, will get demonetized. But what happened is Joan was coming in, just got out of her car, and somebody from Inside Edition or something, hollered at her. And Joan had just done a wedding for a lesbian couple, I believe, wasn't it, Joan? Had you just done a wedding for a lesbian couple? Yes, you have. And as you know, Joan, I have no problem with same-sex marriages. If they're stupid enough to do it, let them do it. That doesn't mean I'm against marriage. It's just it fails over half the time. And usually gay people are smarter than that. And so that means if you're a gay person, you generally have more money because you work harder for some reason, and you got a 50% chance of having to give half of it away to somebody. So anyway, had you just done a wedding for a lesbian couple? Yes, absolutely. Okay. And as I remember, what you said was, and Michelle wants you to know that she thinks Melissa was extremely blessed to have you as a mother. And Joan is, shedding a little tear. But anyway, Joan, what she said was, I think, did you just do a wedding? Yes, I just did a wedding. Is it a cottage industry? Ha ha ha. And then I think the next question from that reporter was, do you think that we should have transgender marriages? And what would you think if we ever had a transgender? What would you think if we ever had a gay president? And as I remember it, Joan, you just kind of offhandedly said, oh, come on, we already have a gay president. Is that what you said? We already have a gay president? You did. And were you speaking about Barack Obama? Yes, because I think you just said, we all know that Barack Obama is gay. And did you know for a fact that Barack Obama was gay? Absolutely. And then you said that we all know that Michelle is a transgender. So was it known in Hollywood that Michelle was/is a transgender? Yes. She said, we already have a gay president. Get over it. Yeah. Because it wasn't that big a deal to you because you didn't care about it. You just cared about people. And Michelle, so Michelle Obama was a transgender. Yes. Okay. Is that why he kept calling her Michael in the speeches? Yes. And yeah, she didn't use the word transgender. She said tranny, which is, some people get offended by that word, but, Joan was using it very, very matter-of-factly. And what she was really saying was, let's don't hate. We already have a gay president, right, Joan? Yes, absolutely. Let's don't hate. We already have a transsexual in the White House, right? Yes. Okay. Somebody asked, how did you find out about Michelle and Barry? That's kind of a personal question. And I don't, I'll just put it this way. Did the Obamas themselves confirm? Did you know from interaction with the Obamas that these things are true? Yes. Okay. Interesting. Now, my question was, why did President Obama keep those things a secret? Do you think that if President Obama had let people know that he was gay, that he could have been elected? You say no. Okay. Do you think that if he knew that, if people knew that Michelle was transgender, that they could? Yeah, she's saying no, it wouldn't have worked. Let's say people knew now. Do you think Michelle could be elected president? No. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Wow. Did you ever do I don't know if I want to go there, Anne Marie. It's a good question, but I don't know if it's really relevant, and I don't really want to go there. I just don't want to go there. I feel like it might be disrespectful. But Joan, you see Anne Marie Eber's question there. Do you want to answer that question? She says no, she doesn't want to answer it. Okay, great. Oh, here's one. Joan, was when you knew him, Barack Obama, a Muslim? Yes. Did Barack Obama being a Muslim upset you? No. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Joan, are you surprised that Donald Trump is president? Not surprised. Huh. Had you ever met Donald Trump? Yes. Do you like Donald Trump? Yes. Do you think Donald Trump's doing a decent job as president? No answer. Smart lady, Joan Rivers, even after this life. Do you, Joan, personally like Donald Trump? She does. I'm asking you to please be respectful to our guests, and if you are not, you will be removed from the chat room. It's just that simple. Oh, that's right. Joan, I think you won the first Celebrity Apprentice, didn't you? Yes, I did not know that. That just popped into my head. Wow. Tracy Dyer says that you were on Celebrity Apprentice and you actually won Celebrity Apprentice. And Jeannie Griffin makes a good point that I think we should say, that Just because Barack Obama was Muslim does not make him a jihadist. And in the United States of America, there is no restriction of religion. There's no endorsement of religion, and we do not restrict the practices of religion as long as they do not become harmful to other people. And I agree with Joan Rivers on that. And I 100% feel like Barack Obama had the right to be the president, even if he was gay, even if he was Muslim. Joan, I think he should have told us. I think it was right. And there's a couple reasons. And tell me what you think about them, if you would. I think that keeping it a secret made him susceptible to blackmail. Do you think that is a possibility? She says no. Okay, well, it's all right to disagree with me. We appreciate it. We're talking with Joan Rivers, and we're talking with Joan Rivers live here. And I don't want to ask Joan if she liked my stand-up, because I just don't. I'm afraid what she might say. Joan, do you think I should keep doing stand-up? Yes. Oh, thank you very much. Do you think I have any potential? Yes. Joan, are you with Edgar? Yes, that's very, very interesting. I'm not sure who Edgar is. Not sure who Edgar is. Ooh, here's a tough question. Oh, Edgar's your husband. Okay. Sorry that I didn't know that. Do you think that Barack Obama was personally involved in your murder? No. Okay. Do you think Michelle was personally involved in your murder? No. Okay. Joan, since you're very forthcoming, was Barack Obama born in Kenya? Joan Rivers says yes, Barack Obama was born in Kenya. Oh, that's right. I do remember your husband. I didn't remember his name, but let's just be right up front. Do you blame Johnny Carson for Edgar's suicide? No. Do you blame Fox for Edgar's suicide? That's very, very it's very elevated thinking, because Joan started her show with Fox, and the show got canceled. Well, what actually happened, and Joan, I'm gonna ask you the facts, because they're under somewhat of a dispute. Did Fox pressure you to fire Edgar as producer? Yes. A weird question, but I'll ask it. Rusty Shackelford wants to know, was Roger Stone involved in your death? No. So, and you refused to fire Edgar, correct? Was that a poor decision? Okay, she says no. So she refused to fire her husband as producer. So Fox ended the show. Is that correct? Okay, great. And as a result, unfortunately, your husband killed himself. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Now that you're where you are, and where we are, was Edgar a lousy producer? No. Okay, great. I appreciate that. So then, and to come back from what you came back from, that is really, really crazy. Was the deep state involved in your death, Joan? She says, yes, it was. Let's just ask, was Hillary Clinton involved in your death? Oh my. Ooh, boy, that's something. Joan, did you know that you were dying? No, because you were sedated. You're actually over sedated. Okay. Wow. Very, very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. Wow. Joan, do you think that sometimes the transgendered agenda can go too far? Yes. Do you think that we should be allowing let's say this, if Melissa was 8 and wanted to dress like a girl, would you, if Alyssa was 8 and wanted to dress like a boy, would you have let her? No. If Melissa was 8 and wanted to dress like a boy, would you have whipped her ass and told her to get a dress on? Yes. I agree with you. It's I have no problem with allowing people to declare that they are a transgendered individual, but they should at least wait until they're 18 to be able to do so. Would you agree with that, Joan? Yeah, she agrees with it. She agrees with it. Interesting. She agrees with it. Joan, do you know if Prince is dead? She doesn't know. She doesn't know. Interesting. Interesting. Well, Joan, I kind of knew that when we started talking and we were talking about talking that you really wanted to stay to just a half an hour. And we're at that half an hour. So I do want to be respectful of your time. Oh, can I ask you just one more question, Joan? Okay, great. One more time. How about 2 questions? Number 1, are you happy, Joan Rivers? Yes, she's happy. Okay. Is Jeffrey Epstein alive? Yes. Okay. That's all I wanted to know. Oh, Joan, I have to ask you this. I have to ask you this. Joan Rivers, have you seen Elvis Presley up there? Yes, you have. Have you enjoyed some times with Elvis? All right, awesome. Joan Rivers, this is an interesting question. Joan, is it cold there? No. And League Project, Joan Rivers, do you know who Rex Bear of League Project is? Joan Rivers does know who Rex Bear of League Project is. Is Rex Bear a shape-shifting reptilian from the backside of Uranus? No, he is not. Rex Bear, known even in the beyond, ladies and gentlemen. Joan Rivers, thank you so very much for spending a half hour of your time with us. Certainly, you've got better places to go and better things to do because after all, you are Joan Rivers. And we do thank you so much. Please give my regards to Sam Kennison if you see him, and also to Freddie Prinz if you see him. Joan, so much love for you in this chat room. So much appreciation for you in this chat room. And also in my heart, I do appreciate you very much. I appreciate your work. I appreciate the Rex Bear says he loves you, Joan. We appreciate the effort. And Joan, you never mailed it in. You always gave it 110%. And you were a consummate professional. You were a great pioneer. And we miss you. And we do love you. And she's giving it all right back, ladies and gentlemen. You were taken from us too soon. And I'm so glad that we could talk here, Joan Rivers. And like Rex says, we know what happened. And we think that the world needs to know what happened. And we hope that our little efforts here will let people know that a beautiful, wonderful soul was taken away and voted in the top 10 of comedians all time. And she is definitely way up there. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Ms. Joan Rivers, a.k.a. Heidi Abramovitz. We love you so much, Joan, and we appreciate you spending time with us. Wow. And just like that, she's gone. Very, very interesting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very powerful stuff. And I know some of you think, oh, Jeff, you're so silly and you're faking, and that's okay. I don't care what you think, but it's really an amazing, amazing experience to be able to, and this whole mediumship thing, it scares me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not afraid of anything, but it scares me to think about moving into mediumship, but I feel like I don't have a choice because there's a lot of information from beings that are no longer here on this realm that we're in, that they want us to know. And I felt her emotions. I felt her love, and I felt just a beautiful, wonderful, and very powerful soul. So I'm definitely going to be investigating and entering into deep personal introspection to learn to go ahead and move into the means of mediumship and sharing not just with the rods, but actually allowing some of the greats and maybe some that we've never heard of to speak wisdom and share wisdom with us, just to give us information so we can have more information at our disposal to make better decisions. And I too am glad that Rex is not a shape-shifting reptilian. I am very glad that Rex is not from the dark side of Uranus, or my anus for that matter too, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all very much for being here. And you know what? Since we've got the rods out and the rods are warmed up, what do you say that we do a few rod questions? We'll take maybe 10 or 15 minutes of rod questions. 10 or 15 minutes of rod questions. So if you have a question for the rods, remember, it must be yes or no. Well, Michael's not a comedian, but I mean, yeah, we will, or anyone's anus, right? I'm you know, Anne Marie says yay. I'm not sure what for, but she's happy. Oh, okay. Abracadabra Sage has asked us about 47 times. Is JFK alive? JFK is not alive. Okay, let's see. Serial Dog wants to know, will the Cowboys win? No. Let's see what else we got. Is Epstein alive? They say no. What? These rods are wrong. Is Jeffrey Epstein alive? The rods say no. Jeffrey Epstein is not alive, but I think Jeffrey Epstein is alive. Let's do this again. Let's get these things warmed up. Maybe they meant JFK Jr. Oh, that was a different question, wasn't it? Okay, Rods, I'm asking you, is Jeffrey Epstein alive? They're saying no. Did Jeffrey Epstein die between the time that they faked his death and now? Ooh, they say yes. Oh, that's interesting. Was Jeffrey Epstein, what's the word called? Where they kill you, like, oh, was Jeffrey Epstein executed? Yes, KTM hits it. Boom. Jeffrey Epstein's been executed. Did he give up all the information before he was executed? Yes. Oh, wow. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. Wow. Good stuff. Good stuff. Mandela Mile wants to know, are they surrounded by reptilians? Nope. Is the Pope reptilian? Nope. Let's see. Is Joseph Mengele still alive? No, he'd have to be way freaking old. Way freaking old. Is JHWB? Who's GHWB? Oh, was George Herbert Walker Bush executed? No. Okay. Is JFK Jr. alive? Ooh, they are not going to answer that. Is JFK Jr. alive? They're not going to answer that. That's very interesting. Claudette says, are there reptilians in the Vatican? Boy, this is a weird night for the rods. This is a weird night for the rods. Are there reptilians in the Vatican? Yeah, there are reptilians in the Vatican. Okay. Max Spire said that Mengele is still alive due to anti-aging technology. I'll ask again. I'll try to clear my preconceived ideas in case I'm prejudicing the rods. Matrix Abandoned, you asked the question. Just ask the question of the rods. Is Joseph Mengele still alive? Just ask that question. They say no. Are there demons in the Vatican? Yes. Was McCain executed? Yes. Great. Is that bad? I'm glad he was executed. He was a thug and a murderer and a coward. So anyway, we'll leave that. We'll leave that. Is climate change a hoax? Yes, absolutely it is. What else we got? Ooh. Will President Trump expose the Fed and the fraudulent monetary system? Let me rephrase that. Will President Trump take dramatic action regarding the Fed and the fraudulent monetary system? Yes. Is the current Hillary Clinton a clone? Not going to answer. I'll hear Rusty Shackelford. Rusty, if you're setting me up, let me know if it's right. Did Rusty leave his debit card at the bar last night? Not a super fast no, but no. Did Rusty leave his debit card at the bar last night? Says no. Rusty, if you're testing me, let me know. Oh, this is a good question. I'm just going to ask it without all the qualifiers, Tracy, if you don't mind. Will Trump be the last president of the United States as it currently stands? That's kind of like you're on the right track, but not super exactly right. We already asked if Bush Sr. was executed, and the answer is no. Are there functioning clones in the world today? Yes. Is the President Hillary Clinton a clone? I'm not going to answer. That's really interesting. That's really damn, I guess I need to keep looking. Let's see. We'll call them up. You know, I'm sure you've done that. Can we ask personal questions? Sure. Rosalind Tavis wants to know, it won't answer that, Rosalind. Is Hillary a clone? For some reason, it doesn't want to answer that question. Oh, here we go. Is Hillary Clinton an android? Not going to answer that either. Did Hillary Clinton die in 2016? It's not going to go with Hillary Clinton. Let's see. Is time being manipulated? Yes, it is. Is this the last pope? It doesn't want to give you easy answers. Folks, I'm exhausted. It takes a lot to do the rod thing with JOAN Rivers, believe it or not. Oh, but I'm just going to let it go. The rods don't want to be arc-incited. Oh, boy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and end this transmission. Much love and respect to JOAN Rivers for being here with us, and much love and respect to all of you for being here with us. I salute you for being here, seeking after church. Does Clinton have dirt on the rods? That's funny. Ladies and gentlemen, we really are here to learn that we're divine, to learn that we're sovereign, to learn that we're free. Thank you, Fishman. And all right, I'll ask that for $5. Is there alien/Nazi technology in the Antarctic? Yes. Okay. So we're here to learn that we're divine, we're sovereign, we're free. We're here to learn that there is no original sin, but instead you've got the spark of divinity within. And we're here to know, ladies and gentlemen, that we're supposed to have life and life more abundant and peace that passes all understanding. There's 40,000 plus of us. Together, we can win today and write a better tomorrow. Folks, the world is not bad and getting worse. I don't care what they say. The world is good and it's getting better. And we're here to make damn sure that it does, because we are in the world changing business, cousins. And that business is a booming. So let's get busy. Thank you for joining us tonight. And a special thanks again to JOAN Rivers. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. It is an amazing time to be alive. And we'll see you in the morning for Not Your Normal Sunday Show, 8 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Central. Thank the baby Jeebus. And until then, for JOAN Rivers, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, wishing you all the best.